Hello and good evening, travelers. This is going to be your Taurus new moon solar eclipse reading. This new moon is happening tomorrow if you're here in the States, so that's 30 April. If you're overseas, it's already April 30th, so it'll be this evening or this morning or in the evening. I'm not exactly, or at night. I don't have my astrological clock thing working right now on my software. Before we get started, I do want to tell you, website members, that I am almost finished with the monthly readings, okay? And here for the YouTube, the elementals, I'm probably going to be posting those sometime during the first week of May, but you will get them. I have been very busy. I look all sweaty right now and hot because I just came from outside in my garden trying to water my plants before I have to go back and pick Hannah up from the firehouse. So it's just crazy. So I'm doing some work in between things. So don't worry, that stuff is coming. I had told you last month that I wasn't sure that I was going to be getting it to be able to get it done, but I've been managing. So what you need to know before we start the reading. Now, this new moon solar eclipse is actually a partial eclipse, okay? It's not like a full eclipse, it's a partial eclipse. But we know that eclipses tend to hide things. We can't see. The sun is blotting out the moon, and we can't see anything. So the sun is the most prominent thing in the new moon. That's why it's dark when you see the dark moon. You don't see it in the sky. But this is a partial eclipse, and so what that means is that we have a partial view. Things are still hidden. So if you have any decisions to make, I advise that you do so carefully, you think carefully, okay? Now, this new moon solar eclipse is going to be taking place at 10 Taurus. Do be aware that Uranus is going to be pulled into this as well. Now, Uranus is going to be at 14 Taurus, okay? But because it's a big outer planet, it has a larger sphere of influence. So even though it's a 4-degree orbit from 10 Taurus, it's still going to be pulled in. Now, so 30 April, Taurus new moon solar eclipse, conjuncting Uranus. But then on the 9th of May, all right, we have a Mercury retrograde. Mercury will go retrograde in his own sign of Gemini at 4 Gemini, all right? But the thing about eclipses is they come in pairs. So and we're about to start retrograde season as well. But eclipses come in pairs. So this new moon solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow on 30 April, that's the opening. And then the next one on 15 May, which will be a full moon lunar eclipse, okay, at 25 Scorpio. And so this is happening across the Taurus-Scorpio axis, where we have the North Node in Taurus and also the South Node in Scorpio. And the Taurus-Scorpio axis are money houses. The Taurus house, normally in the natural astrology, rules the second house. So the second house is all that you own, earn, or owe. So we're talking about your own personal finances, your own personal possessions, your 401k, your bank accounts, your mortgages, your car payments, your loans, those things. Whereas Scorpio is other people's money, but typically it will have some type of sexual component to it. So this could be things like wills, legacies, inheritances, child support, alimony, lottery payouts, insurance payouts, those types of things. So, and the fact that we've got this Mercury retrograde that's falling in between these two eclipses, where we're not able to see, what really is going on, I do again advise that if you have any contractual issues or decisions to make, that you get the best advice that you can. Don't go on the internet searching for people. word of mouth, talk to somebody else who's going through the same thing that you're going through and see if they can recommend someone for you. Okay. Now, I'll be posting up, I just wrote my newsletter, and if you haven't signed up for my free newsletter over on Substack, please do so. You can find that in the channel art. There's a link there in the channel art on the channel here, because I'm going to be posting up the planetary alignments that are happening around as we move through the month of May. Okay. Now, I did some meditation and shuffling on this new moon, and the first thing that came up is this guy, the Page of Swords. There's our Mercury and our Gemini energy. All right. Gemini, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera on. Gemini rules short distances or short distance trips. So this could be around town, in your state, or coast to coast. Okay. He rules phones, faxes, emails, the regular post, bicycles, trains, cars, and early childhood education. So this could be from like kindergarten to 12th grade, right? He also rules neighbors and siblings. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they kind of had a little falling out with their neighbor, and so that's that Mercury retrograde, things going backwards. So what did I do with the card? Here he is. So here's our Mercury, so to speak, incarnate right here. Now, typically, the Page of Swords is about, because the lights are just kind of weird. Typically, the Page of Swords he's a student of communication, and that's what the swords represent. Thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communications, right? So typically, he's a student of communication. In other words, this is somebody who's not afraid to ask questions or keep talking until they can get to the truth. The thing about the Page of Swords, however, is that he can sometimes be a pretty nasty character. For those of you who've been with me a while, you know that pages and knights simply represent news. The difference between the two is that the knights bring news, but they also bring movement. So that is some kind of message that starts to move a situation along. So here we have this Page of Swords to start. Okay, let me do one more shuffle and rifle. Oh, well. The Nine of Wands has just presented itself. Now, if you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you and say thank you for hopping over. For those of you who've been with me a while, thank you so much for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. And if you are new, I'm going to say that this story may not necessarily resonate with you. You may not know anything that may not apply to you, so to speak, your particular situation. Everybody has a particular situation. Even though we are all under the same astrological influences, we're all going to be around the world. Every living thing around the world is going to be experiencing the new moon solar eclipse, right? But it depends on what your situation is, whether or not something may come to pass, or if you understand what it is that I'm talking about. But what I try to do is include something in the reading that you can use no matter what. So we have the Page of Swords, we have the Nine of Wands. Let's lay the rest of the cards. The Five of Wands. Well, there it is. Something you thought was over will be making a reappearance. The World card. Yeah, you thought this was over. The graduation, so to speak. Whew, it's finally over. The Three of Cups. The Seven of Pentacles. Last row. Well, the Death card. Wow. The Empress card. So now I have 2 threes here. And the King of Pentacles. Well, isn't that interesting? So I have 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards. I have 2 court cards, okay? But I have 2 wands, 2 pentacles, a cup, and a sword. Now, the way I read cards is this. The major arcana are your spiritual lessons. The numbered cards, known as the pip cards, these are on a mundane, everyday, third dimensional level. So there's some kind of spiritual lesson here that is trying to, I don't know, either present itself to you, okay? We'll be taking a closer look at that. The cards are read past, present, future, interplay of the cards. And then let's see what is over the entire reading, the energy. It is the Hermit. Well, things being frozen, or that feeling of isolation and things not moving and not having a whole lot of clarity and trying to see whatever it is that you need to see. It is a Mercury card as well, and it represents the sign of Virgo. Virgo is about work, service, and duty, not only to others, but to yourself. There are 24 hours in the day. Do you have 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of play? Are you eating right, sleeping right, taking your vitamins, exercising, meditating, taking time out for yourself? Or are you constantly stressed and strained and doing things for other people? Now, the thing about the Hermit is that he's supposed to be a scholar. There he is standing on the top of the mountain. Inside his lantern, he has the star. So maybe this is about you feeling like whatever it is that you have planned, or whatever your hopes or dreams or wishes were, you know, they're kind of on hold at the moment, encapsulated in this little space. And so you're trying to see through the dark with this particular lantern. And also this, they say that this also has something to do with the eclipse, even though there's nothing in the card that talks about eclipses. Just the idea of seeing in the dark. So there he is. He's trying to see his way through. He's trying to gain some insight, some skill, some knowledge, some wisdom. But the thing about him is he's also a teacher. So what happens is, while he's standing there trying to figure out what's wrong with him, what's wrong with the situation, or what needs to be done, once he comes out of this particular reverie, okay, he can then go out and tell someone else exactly what it is that he's learned. All right. A lot of people, I think, don't like the Hermit card when he comes out, but you know, there are lots of cards, you know, that you may not like, but they have a message, and they have something that they can, something positive, or something like food that they can give you to help fill you up, so that you can kind of get a better perspective on things. Now, I have the 2 threes here. And 2 threes, one interpretation of 2 threes is one of you is craving more excitement and change. Well, this too, sometimes this can be looked at as a single person who really doesn't mind spending time by themselves, who is quite comfortable with their own company. Okay, so this could be a single person, not always a male. And then the other meaning of the 2 threes is, oh my gosh, I don't know what book here. The other meaning of the 2 threes is a small but pleasant surprise. Now, everything else is happening around this 3 of Cups. So this 3 of Cups, the 3 of Cups is a card about celebrations, about being with people that you would like being with. It's about celebrating small things. This could be like a graduation, a christening, the announcement of a baby, a new job, a new promotion. You're celebrating these things, okay? And so that's kind of the energy in the center of the spread. But look at what we have going around the edges. So we start out here in this past row. Now, depending on where you are in the situation, some of you may have already started this. Some of you may be in the middle of it. For others of you, it may be coming up through the month of May. So the Knight of Wands is about the idea of having been through a bit of trial and tribulation. Okay, maybe there's been some words. Sometimes this card will show up as arguments on the internet, or maybe somebody's not necessarily stalking you, but just words passed by, some type of ugly news. And, you know, you've been through it before, and maybe you've been taking a break. Maybe it's calmed down, it's ratcheted down a little bit. And this card says that you have the energy to get back in there and fight if you need to. And indeed, you will need to, because we see it over here. The Five of Wands. I have 2 9s as well. And sometimes 2 9s can be, can mean the idea of a house move or a change of address. I think that's what it says for both of them, as a matter of fact. Or that one of you needs to spend more time alone. So that craving more excitement and more time alone. Okay? It's this energy. 9s are a moment of pause. In the tarot, you go from the Ace to the 10. So the 9 is, the focus is on completion, nearing completion. You think you're just about to be done with it, but then something else comes out of the woodwork. The 5 of Wands. It's a 5. It talks about ups and downs and changes, tense energy, things just not being perhaps as you feel or would desire them to. That's what the wands are about. Your determination, your desire, your focus, your drive. All right. So I've seen this card show up, the 5 of Wands, when it talks about somebody playing head games with you. Or this is where you're in an argument with a whole bunch of people and everybody's trying to get their 2 cents worth in, right? It can also be about competition, being in a competition with other people about something. But this definitely looks like an argument, some nasty words that were said, and it comes back around. Now, this row here, maybe you have on a spiritual level, or maybe even a psychic level, thought, you know what? Whatever this is all about, it's come to an end. Remember, because I'm talking to you about how we go from a 9 to a 5, that, you know, it's calmed down a little bit. You're like, yeah, it's over. I can finally put this chapter behind me. And here we see it kind of backed up with the Death card. The Death card talks about things being over and done with, and it not returning back to the way things used to be. We see that. So perhaps that's why we have this celebration thing. But I do feel that the beginning of the month, it's going to be kind of rocky for some of you. The World card, and we have this thing where we see the figure there holding the 2 wands, which indicates a balance in the wreath, being protected as in a bubble of peace. But here we have those nodes. We have Scorpio and Taurus. We have Aquarius. And Leo. There it is. So sometimes to me that can be something kind of being like circular. Again, coming back around. That's not what I'm getting here. What I'm getting here is a moment where maybe you're learning the lessons. Maybe you've struggled through this, and you're just about to kind of learn that lesson and move on. So you do have something to celebrate. But then we have the 7 of Pentacles. And the 7 is somewhat like the 9 in that it's a number of kind of waiting. It indicates self-doubt and self-questioning yourself. So here we have these 7 pentacles, the tending your, and this is sometimes known as waiting for the harvest to come in. So I've seen this card show up when, you know, you've been working and working and working. You're doing all this work, but you're not seeing any financial reward for it. I've seen it show up when it talks about you've already got 6 things that are kind of ready and set. You've been tending it, but then a 7th thing comes along and you got to figure out if you've got room for it. But then the Death card comes to cut that. But right after the Death card, we have the Empress, who is about growth, fertility, abundance, creative projects, can be about pregnancy. There's something about these two cards, and I guess I'm going to have to take a look at them. And so if this is not about an actual pregnancy, because sometimes these two cards together can indicate that there may be a news of a new baby on the way. Some of you may be like me. I'm not, having any more kids, right? So this could be about the birth of a new project, a new baby that you're going to have, but it's going to be some type of creative project that you may be working on, something that you're going to have to nurture and grow and take care of and tend, the whole bit. And then we have this odd, king of coins. Now, typically he would represent a earth sign male. Taurus. He actually represents Taurus. Okay. And I'm not sure if this is telling me that may be his mother, because she represents the mother in the tarot. We shall see. But typically he was a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. As a profession, he's going to be someone who's extremely savvy with money. He may be a banker. He may be a loan officer. He could even be a real estate agent. Okay. An accountant. So somebody that, is pretty, what's the word? Set in their financial world. Okay. Something about these two cards. So what can I do? I can't really look at these two because traditionally they represent people. So what does that leave me with? It leaves me with these four cards with these three. And I find it interesting that these three major arcana are here to the left side more so, okay, than anything else. They're not kind of spread out in different places. They're kind of bunched up together, as well as these four cards are kind of bunched up in that little square right there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at if I can get any more information out of these four cards as each one relates to these three, and perhaps even this Hermit card. Okay, so we will start in the order that they fell. We will start with the Nine of Wands. It is a message to use discretion and to maintain control over your personal interest. It asks you to hold on to your belief set and to protect your own affairs. Now, I think that's an interesting card to come out, because remember I was saying to you that the Taurian the house of Taurus is about your own personal finances, but it's also about your values and your value systems. Who and what is more important than money or gold? All right. So it says you have the knowledge, mindset, and ability to succeed at whatever you set your mind to. But it is also an indication that life may seem to be at a standstill. Perseverance and persistence is key. The card asks you to remember where you have been and what you have experienced in your life so far. Here's the one that comes up. It suggests that there has been a conflict previously, and you are forewarned that there may be more to come ahead of you. Oh, we see it right there. Okay. Now, doesn't tell me anything with these cards. So we now move down to the 5. And I would suspect it does have something to do with either what you call your home, whether this is a house or a condo or an apartment or even a caravan, right? Wherever you call home, because from the 9 to the 5 gives me 4 wands. Okay. And that usually represents the realm of the home, a stable foundation, so to speak. So the 5 of Wands, a focus on inner conflicts and a clash of personal ambitions. It foretells a time of struggle where petty obstacles may constantly appear in your life, causing difficulties and hindrances. It indicates annoyances and minor setbacks that are to be regarded as interesting challenges and to be met and overcome. Now, it may be implying that someone is playing games, and these games can very often be mind games. I told you that. It can indicate discordance within a work situation and tells of procrastination, disorganization, and the battles of life. But it may also be telling you to lessen your grip on a situation, as the constant competition is depleting your energies. It is a message telling you that a situation calls for clarity and truth. It is important to sort out the facts and to state them firmly. Cooperation is required. So it is imperative to have the facts straight. Let's see. With the Hermit. It is a message that you are to be self-reliant rather than depending upon others. It indicates that the issue or situation is your responsibility, and it is for you to deal with, sort through, and to accomplish. Well, okay. I buy that. Let's move to the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups suggests that there could be a time of suspended activity before future successes are realized. But it can also indicate that any problems that have arisen in the past will be resolved and that you will soon be free to celebrate. So we see that here. You thought this was over, but it's not. It comes back. It can tell of the beginning of a successful new lifestyle with a happy conclusion. Here, with the Death card, it indicates the ending of things, with new beginnings to start. It tells of a complete change in lifestyle and or career, which will bring new people, situations, and circumstances into your life. It tells of starting over in a positive and beneficial way. That's this energy. Venus. She's all about love, beauty, and harmony, but also right relationships. Three of Cups with the Death card indicates a change of lifestyle or work and or career with new faces and new places ahead. Maybe this could be your new boss. Okay. Now we look at the Seven of Pentacles, or the new business partner that can help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. The Seven of Pentacles. Interesting. The Seven of Pentacles asks that you be patient. It can represent a change in direction. It is a card which indicates material securities with options for a new course to take. Decisions to do with choice is apparent. So it is important to weigh up all options. The choice being rather to remain in the position you are currently in or step forward towards the new. There are important decisions to be made, and clear communication is needed in order to come to the right conclusion or decision. Discussions will lead to success. It tells you not to be overly anxious if a delay or postponement takes place in regards to some financial negotiations. All is going to plan, so use this time constructively to plan your next move. Well, you know, I think this is why I'm trying to tell you about this Mercury retrograde. Okay, that you can expect some things to go back and forth, perhaps some miscommunications. Here is the Seven of Pentacles with the Empress card. Now this is interesting. It is a message to not become too upset or perturbed if you do not receive the attention or approval you wish for from your partner or loved ones. Do not be hurt or offended if you feel neglected or as though you are not receiving the attention you desire. The time will pass quickly and you will receive the appreciation you seek. In time, your efforts will be acknowledged and justly rewarded. It goes back to that feeling of isolation here. And that's what the cards say. So this is a situation in which, whether this is a new career, a new job that you are seeking, if this is, I get the sense that there is some kind of, not necessarily romance, but there are definitely loved ones here that are involved, even without that meaning, that thing here, the meaning of this card, right? Because we see that. Now, the Page of Swords is not always a nasty character, okay? But he can be abrupt and direct. And we see here with the cross energy, the message comes in, there's something to celebrate. Who is this King of Pentacles, and what does he really mean for us? So I want to take a look first at the World card for you. And then there's something about these two cards that I can't quite put my finger on. So, the World card tells of the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new phase. I mean, and if this doesn't do it for you to say that the situation's going to change, he definitely comes along and says, okay, that's it. It's over. Okay. It indicates travel and movement, either a journey to be made or a vacation to be had or a change of residence. It says if you're looking to undertake further study or higher studies, now would be the time. But it asks that you never forget what it took to get where you are today, and tells of challenges that have been faced and won. It implies that congratulations are now in order and you can and should feel justifiably pleased with yourself. Now this Death card, because I know a lot of you are looking at that Death card and you're like kind of freaked out. The one thing you should understand about the Death card when reading cards is this idea that it is presented because this is the most radical transformation that there is, right? It's the biggest change ever in your life. And so whenever sometimes the tarot wants to convey that there's going to be a complete transformation of circumstances or situations, the Death card will come out. The card is really about rebirth. As you can see there in the back, there's the sun coming up over the horizon. Okay? So, it indicates that it is time to look at the old and release it to allow transformation to a higher level. It asks that you step out of the past and into today. If you continue to live in the past, you will miss out on the opportunities presented for you today. It is asking that you face the future, accept the changes, and adapt accordingly. It indicates that a stage of life is coming to an end, but that from this ending, new experiences will evolve. It indicates major transformations in the near future and rethinking one's life and beliefs, which will bring about many positive changes and eventual renewal. It tells of recognizing the end to a situation or a change in attitude. It also tells of new opportunities and asks that you not resist the changes that are coming towards you. It indicates that it is necessary to look at your life and to question the amount of energy that you are putting into relationships. You need to decide whether it is necessary to let go in order to save energy. I mean, really. Now, we will look at the princess. The empress. Material wealth, marriage, and the promise of growth, and a message that you will soon be rewarded for your past efforts. It indicates that it is time to reap the benefits of a bountiful harvest. Expect happy conclusions. It tells of recognition and rewards for your efforts, and you may receive more than you expected. But it also represents the emotions and indicates the importance of following your instincts and feelings. It advises that you should not be redirected by thought and action. Do not be disillusioned by delays, but trust your instincts and intuition. I mean, I don't know what else to say to you about that. Okay? And now, just to give you, there's a thing about the Hermit that it indicates that you may be about to progress on to a new stage of life, but you may need to first remove any difficulties from the current situation in order to be able to make positive progress. It implies that you may have recently experienced difficulties that have resulted in loneliness and isolation. It brings a message that guidance and assistance are available to you. You must, though, keep in mind that your actions are your responsibility. So use this time wisely to reflect upon your actions. That's what it says. So, what do I want to look at? I'm going to pull cards across this bottom row. This is my future row to see what so it's just something about the Death and the Empress card together. I don't feel it's anything negative, okay? The reason why I say that is because if it were, let's say, like this, that could be whatever this wealth and good luck is coming to an end, right? That's what that could say. It's over here, and as we see Death moving through, he is riding right into the Empress. Okay? So, I don't necessarily feel that this is anything really bad or negative. Of course, that depends upon your situation. That can't be true for everybody. So, here we go. The Consolante Sorpresa. Can you see that? Let me... Okay. The Malinconia. And the Allegrezza al Cuore. Well, which, if you look, is almost like the Three of Cups all over again. Now, the only odd card here is this Malinconia. It is the card of sadness and depression, dark clouds, but it says that it's something that's going to pass, okay? The Consolante Sorpresa is an interesting card because what it represents is good things happening to you, luck coming into your life, but it's going to be luck that just kind of, let's say, happens to you as if you fished it out of water, these results, okay? It may not be exactly what you wanted. You know, maybe you wanted to go catch fish, but instead you found this bag of money. Well, that's not all to be sad. Or maybe you were treasure hunting and you thought there was more money there, right? But you ended up getting something, okay? This Malinconia is quite interesting to me. But on the other end of this, ending this sequence of cards, is the Allegrezza al Cuore, the happiness of the heart. The Sibilas have distinct cards for different types of happiness. There's happiness with your friends and family. This represents a marriage or a contractual issue. Okay? And so let me read to you the Allegrezza al Cuore. Now, I don't know who this king of coins is. You know, maybe you are waiting to get a loan. Maybe you're waiting to buy a house. Maybe you're, you know, whatever the case may be, a promotion, you know, whatever the case may be. Basically, the Allegrezza al Cuore represents the arrival of good news, fulfillment, recognition, and of happy times free of worry and of celebration and of support by someone close in a very short period of time. It can indicate a marriage, an achievement, passionate love, an engagement, and a positive family event. Again, like this card. to 3. So we're talking about a christening, a graduation party, a birth. If personal relationships were troubled, this card heralds a reconciliation. Now, let me say this. I don't necessarily mean reconcile, because maybe you don't want to get back with the person, right? I don't know. So we can say a reconciliation for some of you. It may be actually getting back together with someone. But we can look at reconciliation as the ability to reconcile whatever the issues were. Okay? So don't, let's do that. It represents requited love and a period of emotional stability and often passion with another. It indicates the presence of loyalty and the ability to make a commitment in more than one area, so also in business. It foretells the answer to a prayer, a fulfilled hope, and a period of happiness ahead. It guarantees success and realization. In business, it represents a good investment, achievement, good contracts, and financial stability. Now remember, we're talking about the axis of Taurus and Scorpio, your money and values versus other people's money, right? And maybe their values too. And so I just feel that for some of you, whatever the situation is that may rear its ugly head and come back, you're going to have to deal with it, but you can certainly move through it, okay? And success is all what you make it, right? So, like for me, success is walking my daughter walk across that stage on May 21st. I'm a single parent. It has been she and I since I was pregnant with her. And so to me, that is really one of the greatest successes of anything I've ever done, was to get her this far. And she's such a great kid. So success is personal, and only you can measure what success is, okay, for yourself. And don't allow anybody else to try to dictate to you what success is, all right? So I want you to formulate a question for the Golden Nostradamus. Here we go. Luck. There is Lady Fortune. Now, this is interesting because, as you can see here, this one's blindfolded. So this is like what I say, blind luck. It's not the fortune card that we have here in the Sibila. And let me, if I can find her quickly, what she looks like. This is like something happening to you, out of the blue. That you don't see coming, you don't plan. It's somewhat like perhaps an earned reward, but it's something completely unexpected, okay? And you could lose it quite suddenly. Why? She's standing on the wheel. See that? Here is fortune in this card. And she is not blindfolded. So this is about karmic luck. So these are two different types of luck. So let's see what Nostradamus has to say. Number 2. Happy is he who observes and learns from the follies of others at every turn. This is a very lucky card and a bearer of great energies, love, or winnings from gaming or profitable actions in life. It cancels any negative meaning of any card next to it and reinforces the positive. Now, again, as I said, this can't be true. I don't know how many people are going to be watching this. So this can't be true for everybody who's watching it. All right. This situation may not even apply. To gain any more insight into your specific situation requires a personal reading. And so you're going to, near the end of this video, there's going to be a little link up here that you can click on that'll take you directly over to the website. And you can look for tarot consultations. I have several packages. I explain how to book with me, my booking method, the turnaround time, which is usually between 24 to 72 hours. I don't like to make people wait. And so that's it. I do hope that helps. Again, even though these cards, the reading has this positive bent and it's talking about a completely new change of life, some of you may be thinking, oh man, that means I'm going to win a lot of money. Well, it may not mean that. It may mean that could be something else, a complete change in life that is something that's much more valuable than finances. Again, that's that Taurian energy, right? Who or what is more important than money or gold? So again, this is about this whole new moon eclipse, particularly conjuncting Uranus, is really about changes in the way that we relate to our finances, to our physical, our possessions, our physical surroundings, and our bodies. Okay, and so that's what I have for you. I do hope that helps. Until next time, be well, stay safe. Namaste. Bye.